everyone. I don't mean to talk over you. Hello, everyone. My name is Matt.
And I'm Wes.
And today we are going to talk about Canva for churches.
Oh my goodness. I've been waiting for this day for quite some time, Matt.
Yeah, we've been excited about it. Clearly, all of you are excited about it because there have been more people signed up to join this webinar than any webinar ever that we've ever done.
So when it comes to helping equip churches to build the body of Christ, Matt, we're typically doing this with our software, ChurchTrac, and through the integrations we have with other companies that integrate with our software.
But this one is different.
Yes.
This is a different situation because we're actually going to talk about a resource that has nothing to do with ChurchTrac and that we don't directly integrate with. This is just a great resource that we've come across, and we fully believe that this could help your church a lot. This resource ticks off a lot of our boxes.
Yes.
First of all, when we recommend any resource, we check to make sure it's extremely affordable or, better yet, free.
I like free.
And this one is absolutely free. I love free too. We also want to make sure that the resource we recommend helps ministers and church leaders and volunteers save time. And this absolutely will do that. We'll show exactly why it'll save time here pretty soon. And also, we want this resource to absolutely transform the way your church communicates with your members and with the surrounding community. And this resource we're going to share with you today, which you know what it is, we're trying to be elusive about it, but it's right there in the title. It's Canva. Canva checks off all of these boxes.
Yes. So here's what we're going to talk about today. First, why Canva? Why are we actually bringing this software up and talking about it and letting you know? Then we're going to talk about how to get Canva. Matt's actually going to walk us through the process of getting it. Spoiler alert, there's a way that many churches can get Canva for free. And Canva Pro might have you. Then we're going to look at the Canva brand kit. What does that mean from your church? How can it help your church? And look at some of the templates in Canva and so much more.
Yes. And we're going to leave the chat wide open throughout. We don't work for Canva, so any deeply technical questions about Canva, about your Canva account, you're gonna have to save that for Canva support. But for little things, we're gonna interact and we're gonna be doing some questions throughout, and we'll be responding in chat. Wes is actually gonna be manning the chat today, so be in the chat, ask your questions there, look for some responses and some interactions there. We're excited. We're looking forward to this.
And if you are watching this in the future and not live, well, you might be watching on YouTube, which YouTube is such a great resource.
Yes, we have a channel. Just go to youtube.com, search ChurchTrac software, and subscribe to our channel. We have over 150 videos that you can watch, including past webinars like this one.
Yes, and we also have a Facebook group. It's super exclusive. No, I'm just kidding, it's not, but you can ask to join that. And plus, if you ever need any help with the software with ChurchTrac, just click that green help button. So let's go ahead. Let's dive into it. Matt, we're going to talk about why Canva.
Yes, why Canva.
We work with church leaders and pastors every day. We ask them what they're passionate about. Very rarely, Matt, do I hear church leaders say, oh, I'm super passionate about branding and all this. No, we usually get responses like discipleship, the gospel.
Or missions, or some sort of community outreach and community service. But I have never talked to a minister and asked that question and heard the response, I just love making killer sermon slides. I've never had a pastor tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, most pastors are not going to school for graphic design and all these things. And a lot of this stuff when it comes to designing media, both digital and physical, it's stuff they just kind of have to pick up and learn as they go or find the right person to do it and everything.
But branding is a big deal. It becomes a bigger and bigger deal every year in our modern age. You have to have good branding to sort of set yourself apart and create sort of a personality for your church or a cultural perception of your church.
Yes.
And your website is often the first impression, or at least whatever your web presence is, whether it be you have a website or maybe you're just using social media, whatever that is, that web presence is your first impression for any potential new visitors because they're going to check out your website, your Facebook page, maybe even listen to a podcast if you have a podcast, and all of that is your media.
Yeah, and then going beyond that, if they make it to the doors of our church, then they are met with all kinds of branding and media and things before the first note is played in worship, before the first word is spoken in the sermon. They've already probably seen posters on the outside of the church, perhaps. They have seen slides on the pre-service slides or whatever it may be.
They've seen your sign out by the road?
Yes.
That's all a part of it.
Yeah.
So we're going even beyond guest impressions. Your branding also has to do with your church's identity and how the church communicates with the congregation that's in front of you on Sunday mornings. And bad-looking design just isn't appealing.
No.
It's not appealing. And if you're wanting to communicate with them and share information with them and hope that they learn that information or retain it, even if it's just like an announcement. Now, I'm not talking about even just sharing the gospel with them. We can even get a little more basic and just share about upcoming events.
Yes.
If bad design is at the heart of how you're communicating this information to your members, it's actually harder for them to retain that information because bad design is something that they're going to try to put out of sight, out of mind.
Well, and then we get into that realm of the 5 words that we hear church people say all the time. And I'm sure people in the chat are going to know exactly what we're talking about. And it's,
Of course,
I didn't know about that. Let us know in the chat, how many times have you heard someone say, I didn't know about that? I don't know, just in the past week at your church.
Yeah. Yeah, and that it hurts because a lot of you watching this, you're the ones doing the work at your church to put together the media and help generate that branding, or at least make those announcements so that your members hopefully know what's coming up. And if you're putting in all that work just to be hit with those dreaded 5 words, I didn't know about that, that's frustrating and it's very defeating.
Yes.
So, good design is all about taking your message and presenting it in a way that people will remember and respond to it. But most churches, definitely the churches that we talk to, and I think that it's why this is the fact of the matter for most churches.
Yeah.
Most leaders and most churches don't have either the budget or the know-how to just crank out really high quality media for the church. You don't have the budget to pay someone else to do it or even purchase like pre-made packages of church media. A lot of great resources and companies out there make great media that's pre-made that you can then tweak and edit, but it can get expensive.
It can. And that's why we're talking about Canva, because Canva is a free online design tool that your church can use to really make some amazing media, not only digital, but printed.
Yes.
I mean, just listing it off, your church website, email pictures, sermon slides, video announcements, your church bulletin, connection cards, posters. There's so much that you can create in Canva and create this consistency, which Matt will be talking about a little later.
Yes, and what's great about Canva is it also offers a standalone app for your iPhone, iPad, or your Android phone if you have an Android phone. And also, I even came across where you can download it as an app just on your desktop. That way you don't even have to go to a website and log into anything. It's just ready to go for you to just click on, jump into your account and start creating stuff.
Yeah. So I think we've talked enough about why churches could benefit, why they need it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how to get Canva, Matt. And why don't you walk us through what that looks like?
Well, there's a few different ways that you can get into Canva and start designing something for your church. In fact, my church, we have an account in Canva, and we actually have a Canva Pro account. We're going to talk about how we got that and some benefits there here in just a second. The first way, though, that you can start designing in Canva is you can just jump right in and start designing right away without even creating an account. That's one thing that I think is pretty cool about Canva.
Yeah.
You don't have to enter an email address or a password. You don't need to give them any of your information. You can just start generating images right away. And the first way to do that, is I actually have this pulled up on my screen here, is to go to canva.com. That's their main website. When you land on their main page, and I think our AV team, our guy here is showing this page here. This is just their main website. This is canva.com. This is the first thing you see when you go to their website. I can sign up to create an account for free, or if I don't want to do that yet, maybe you're just starting to get into Canva and you want to explore some of the features first before you pull the trigger on creating an account, you can just start creating something. I click in the search bar at the top. It's already giving me some suggestions for what kind of content I can produce. So let's say I want to do like a social media post, a Facebook post. You want to do that, Wes?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So we'll show you how to create a Facebook post. I'll click on that option. And I'm presented with a blank slate. Now, here's the cool thing about Canva. You don't have to be a graphic designer to use this feature, do you, Wes?
No, you do not.
And that's one thing I love about this. So instead of generating content and starting from scratch, I can use templates. And we're going to talk about templates in more detail a little bit later, so stay tuned. But if I want to quickly throw together a post, maybe like a verse to share on my church's social media page, I can scroll through this list of templates on the left and select which one I like the most. And I'm going to pick this one. I love mountains.
Yeah.
I grew up in East Tennessee near the mountains, so I'm biased towards mountains. I love it. So I'm going to choose this, even though we live in Florida now and
we have beaches, but no mountains.
Yeah, we have beaches, but mountains are hours away. So let's say I want to use this image, but I don't need a daily motivation, and I don't want this cheesy quote at the bottom, "You're stronger than you think you are."
Let's use actual scripture.
Yeah, let's use actual scripture. So instead of a daily motivation, I can actually edit this text. That's the cool thing about these templates in Canva is you can edit details in the template to make it what you need it to be. So let's say I want to change this. I want this to be the verse of the day. Maybe I want to start sharing a verse every single day on my Facebook page for my church. And then I can edit the text below. I'm not going to do this right now, but we can make it a verse, whatever verse that, maybe something that's tied into the sermon last week or upcoming, so you can tie it into and actually make it cohesive across what your church is doing. So I could edit this text, and then from here, I just click the download button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. I can download stuff as a PNG, Wes.
That's cool.
And which is great. You can download what you create here as a PNG just so that you have maybe your logo on a transparent background. That's really key. That's really cool. And again, you can do this without creating an account. But for this, I would just download it as a JPEG, click that download button, and I'm done. I can share that on social media and leave Canva and without having created an account.
Perfect.
So that's step one for generating content through Canva is just go to the website and start creating an image. The next way to do it is to create an account, and you can do so for free. If I close this, I go back to the main page, I can sign up for free. Now Canva, this is what's really cool about Canva is it's not a free trial, like a 30-day free trial. You can have a free account with Canva for forever. I actually did that when I first started working here at ChurchTrac, and I needed to start generating content and learning how churches are doing that. So I created an account on Canva for free, and months later, I still haven't paid Canva a penny to use the account. So you can do that for your church or yourself and start doing that. However, the best way to use Canva is you can actually have a pro subscription. That's their paid subscription. Your church can have a Canva Pro subscription for free because Canva gives their pro subscription to nonprofits for free. So the way to do that, if you're interested in Canva Pro and you want that for your church, for step one would be to search, let's say, Canva for nonprofits. And the first link, Canva for nonprofits, if I click on that, takes me right to where I can apply to receive a free Canva Pro account for my church. All you have to do is submit any documentation you have proving that you are a nonprofit. That's it.
Yeah.
FYI though, we have heard from some churches that sometimes Canva will deny them their application. However, from those churches, we've also heard that for the most part, anytime if they've reached out to Canva support asking, why, or if there's anything else that they need to submit, Canva will work with you, take any other submission or any information that they need from you, and then they give them that account for free. So if you get denied, don't be discouraged. Also, don't be rude. Reach out to Canva. Just ask, see what's going on, see if there's anything else you need to send them, and generally they will give you this account for free.
Awesome. So go ahead and get on that, everybody, after this webinar. So,
yes.
Matt, we've covered the first part of it, getting your account and everything. Here's the thing. We can make amazing sermon slides, beautiful graphics, really captivating videos for social media.
Yes.
But, and they can be perfect, by the way. I mean, some of these templates, I look at them like, man, that is just perfect. But if they're not consistent, it's not going to look good across the board amongst all the things that we're putting out.
Yes.
And in fact, we have this awesome quote that we'll put up there that really summates this.
Yeah, it encapsulates this perfectly.
Consistency is better than perfection. We can all be consistent. Perfection is impossible. That's from Michael Hyatt.
Unless you're Jesus. Yes. Yeah, Jesus is the only one. The rest of us are stuck with being mere mortals.
Yes.
And Michael Hyatt is correct. Consistency is really the key. And that's what's going to take your church media from good to that next 10, 15% great. It's going to elevate what you do across the board by being consistent. And the way to do that in Canva is with a Canva brand kit. That's the secret sauce. That's what makes Canva so great for churches. Now, the Canva brand kit is only available if you have that pro subscription, by the way. So go ahead and apply to have that pro subscription. or go ahead and pay for the pro subscription if you just prefer to not even worry about having to go through that application process. Go ahead and make sure you have a pro subscription because you can utilize the brand kit. So the first step in making good media for your church is having that brand kit put together, having the basics of your branding already worked out. So before you even start creating all those things, make sure you get that branding taken care of. And we'll go ahead and actually talk about church branding and the Canva
very small segment of church branding.
Yeah, this is a very small segment of it, and we're going to talk about it as it relates to the Canva brand kit. So let's go ahead and talk about that brand kit. When it comes to branding in Canva, the foundation of all your church's branding is really just three things.
Yep.
Your church's logo, your church's color palette, and the fonts. That third one to me, like that tripped me up because I never think of fonts as part of branding, but it is.
Yes.
It's part of how your church presents itself both to members and the surrounding community. And when it comes to having your church brand kit in Canva, I've already got my church's. This is actually my church's Canva account that I've logged into here, and I've got this up on the screen, and we'll share this with you. On the left-hand side of the screen, there's an item for your brand. If I click on that menu, it takes me to this screen here where I can load information about my church's brand, including my logos, my colors, and my fonts. So I can have all of this preloaded in, I almost said ChurchTrac. I can have all of this preloaded in Canva. That way it's ready for me to add to images, to make it consistent, and to add my branding and my brand identity to everything I create here. So step one, let's go ahead and make sure that my brand and my logos are added. So I'm just going to drag and drop. I've already got these files locked and loaded here. I'm going to drag and drop this here. This is a PNG file. It's so light, you probably can't even see this on your screen, but this is a white version of my church's logo. I've actually got a few others here I can drag and drop too. The yellow version. Let's see. I've got this gray, just the letter M there with our website. And Wes, I think you're going to like this one. My pastor even made this for the kids ministry.
Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah. So you can load all of these logos in here. That way, as you're creating images, I can just drag and drop these into the image I'm creating and add my branding. Nice and quick and easy.
And your pastor made that logo in Canva, I'm sure, too.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep this. The color, I like this. The Metro Kids logo color PNG. That's cool. Okay. I didn't even know it did that. So I'm learning this right now.
What do you know?
It just pulled from those logos. That's great. But I've already got my brand colors listed here. And you can kind of see these brand colors in the images above, but we've got this yellow, black, a slate gray, this blue, and a lighter sort of mint white.
And these are all colors that you've kind of decided on whenever you created the brand of your church.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I say you say you. I actually didn't do this. My pastor did this before we even joined the church. He had already had this already laid out. What's really cool is Canva will help you generate or come up with color palettes. If you don't already have some for your church, you can use Canva to help you generate those. If I click this plus sign in the top right-hand corner, I'll even zoom in case you're watching this on a smartphone. Right here to the top right section of this brand colors, if I click that, Canva generates palettes with 6 different colors as suggestions. You can even type in and search. You can also add your own custom palette. And even though they're giving you 6 colors, you can add way more than 6 colors to a single palette. So I can just add, I can start cranking out more and more colors, although I don't need these, so I'm going to go ahead and remove these.
Okay.
But you can add as many colors as you want to a branding palette and generate that. Now, what my pastor did, and I'm actually going to share you this with you. I'm going to go over Wes. Wes wants to talk about Canva. My pastor got on a website called Coolers. This is just a free resource.
I'll post the link in the chat.
It's coolers.co, not com.
There
by
you
the
go.
way.
Yeah.
If you need coolers for your next church barbecue, go to coolers.com. But if you want to create a palette for your church's branding, go to coolers.co. What my pastor did is he generated this palette right here on the Coolers website. And Coolers helps you by giving you suggestions for colors, and you can start building a palette quick and easy from there. There's a lot of really great resources here. This is also a free thing that you can use. You don't even need to create an account to use Coolers. You can even upload like a picture, and it'll pull the colors from that picture to create a palette. All of this for free. There is a paid subscription. Y'all don't need that though, to be honest. You can just jump in here and create a really cool palette of colors for your church, for your branding.
And they even provide the hex codes there, so that way you can just copy, paste it right into Canva.
Well, you can also download this as a PDF. I've got it right here. So if we downloaded this, yeah, and so I can save this and just have it anywhere I need. And those hex codes are built in here as well. So all of that has been created by my pastor and then added to the Metro Church Canva account and the brand kit. And then on the right hand, we've even got our fonts loaded in. Again, fonts are something if you don't have figured out, Canva will help you. They've got some suggestions and some fonts that you can pick from, like these uploaded fonts. I could choose any of these fonts here to use for my church branding. So you can use Canva to create a brand for your church, or you can use some of these other resources and then put it all together.
Awesome.
So that's the Metro Church brand kit at a glance. Go ahead and have your images loaded in. When it comes to your brand logos, make sure that they're PNG files because you want the transparent background so that you can just add the logo itself, not an image, essentially. Just FYI, it's a little tip. And then also there's some brand templates. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I just want to show you where this is, where you can add these templates here and pull from them for all future content just to be super consistent across the board with everything that you do.
Back to the consistency.
Yes.
All right. Now, speaking of branding, we had mentioned in the email that we sent out about a lucky church winning a brand makeover. And so here's how you can win. What you need to do is email connect@churchtrac.com. Our team will put that up on the big screen. And just let us know. Say, hey, our church, we would love the opportunity to win a brand makeover for our church. We're giving this away to one lucky church. We will announce the winner later today. And this is a good opportunity for you as a church who maybe you have never even stepped into the branding side of your church. You don't have a logo, you don't have colors, you don't have fonts, and you haven't figured out a strategy. We're going to help you with that because we love helping churches. This is what we do.
Churches. We love to equip the church to build the body of Christ, and this is part of it.
Yes. So connect@churchtrac.com. Send us an email and let us know that you would like to have your brand makeover. All right.
Now, Wes, we've talked about why Canva, and I think we've laid a case out for why
we don't
churches
need to talk anymore about why.
We've talked about how to get Canva, how to jump in and create, or how to create an account. And we've also shown off the secret sauce, the brand kit for consistency's sake.
Yes.
But I think we need to dive into the actual meat and potatoes of what Canva is by talking about Canva templates.
Yes.
So the Canva brand kit is at least like 50%. We'll say it's 60% of the reason why we're showing you and doing this webinar. The templates, though, are the other 60%. This is more, we're going way over 100%.
120%.
Yeah, they're both the reason why Canva is a powerful tool for your church. So having the brand kit for consistency's sake and then the templates to make everything look really professional very quickly. That's the key. So
let's do some templates.
Yes. All right, so Wes, we're just going to spitfire this. We're going to rapid fire our way through some templates. You just feed me what you want me to do next, and I'm going to show you how this can be done easily and quickly in Canva to prove why this is a great resource. So you just feed me what you want me to do, and we'll jump right in.
Well, you say feed, and I think of food, so potluck. Our church is having a potluck.
Yes.
I want you to show me a template. Let's see. Create a potluck event for me.
Okay, so step one, no matter what you're doing, potluck or no matter what you're trying to create, in this search bar, type in what you're trying to create, or at least generate some sort of search term similar to what you're looking for. So I'm just going to type in potluck. And here we go, y'all. These are the templates. This is what makes Canva so great. And this is why Canva is a great resource if you're not a graphic designer, because these templates mean you don't have to be. There's already people out there that have done 80% of the work for you.
Yeah.
You just have to pick which one you like the most and run with it. So let's say I like this one, this potluck reunion top in the middle, this little flannel gingham pattern.
I can't imagine why you would like flannel, Matt.
Yeah, I don't either. But you're probably thinking, that's great. However, those aren't my colors. This potluck for my church isn't a reunion. It's just a hangout where we eat food and fellowship. So what are we going to do about this? We're going to edit this template. And this can be done very easily. So let's say I want to update this. It says potluck reunion. This isn't a reunion for me. This is a church potluck. So church potluck, yay! And we're not catching up. We're already we hang out all the time. So let's just come and make it more invitational. Come join us for a church potluck. And whatever, I can change the date and the time, whatever it needs to be, and the address. I can say, this is, my church is called Metro Church, so we'll say Metro Church, and then we'll say whatever address. I'll just leave that the way it is. But that's how you can edit this very quickly. Now, we talked about branding, though, and consistency, and I added my brand palette. This is where that comes into play. So I'm going to click on this image where it's highlighted all the way around. That means I'm selecting the background of this image. You notice in the top left-hand corner, there's 2 colors in these little palettes in the top left-hand corner. If I click on one, it opens up a new menu where I can change these colors, and I've got my brand colors listed here. So when it comes to like a gingham pattern, I'm going to choose this blue here. Ooh, it's already looking better. If I select this, if I select, no, it's a little too bright. That's a little too dark. That's getting better. All right, let's do that. Let's just run with this. This is good. I like this. This black and blue, or this gray. It's actually a slate gray, blue, and black. And then the church potluck, the red letters, that's looking kind of harsh against that blue. So let's choose another, the yellow. There we go. Look at that. There we go. I've just made this match my church's brand.
Nice.
And I did it in seconds. I edited the text, edited the colors. It now fits what my church is doing.
You know what you forgot?
What did I forget?
Your font.
Oh,
Making
that's
the
right.
font style.
Yes. So I can highlight church potluck. And if I want to keep this different, that's fine. I can make it my font, or I can keep it the way it is and make the rest of it my church's font, just to kind of have something look a little bit different, have a little bit of contrast in my fonts. That's all fine. Again, there are no rules here. We can do whatever we want. This is Canva. You can just edit and make it what you need it to be. You don't have to have all the know-how. This already looks amazing. This already looks great for a church potluck. And I can move this up if I want it like nice and centered. There we go. And those lines appear just to help you find where the centers are, or how to align things, just to make it nice and easy. So there we go. I just made an invitation for a church potluck that matches my church branding with the colors and the fonts and everything.
And now from here, we can maybe export this to use on a Facebook post. Maybe we can put this on Instagram in a different size. We can make a poster out of it.
Yeah, you say size. Well, first of all, I can click this share button and I can download it. I can go ahead and jump straight. I can connect my church's social media accounts to Canva. And so just share straight from Canva into those accounts. That way I'm not having to download it and then log into another account and then upload it. I can just add it right into that account. But what's really cool is, let's say I've made this. Let's just pretend like I've made this to add to my church's website. Let's say my website has like an upcoming events page. And so I made this image to add there. But I also want to announce this in a sermon, add it to the rotation of sermon slides, and maybe I want to announce it on social media just to really get the word out.
Yeah.
Well, I can jump straight from this image I've created and resize it to fit those different formats.
Okay.
So in the top left-hand corner, and again, this is something that's only available if you have the Pro subscription, so make sure you get that Pro subscription. I'll zoom in case you're watching this on a smartphone. There's this resize button. If I click on that, I can select a different format or a different dimensions. That's the word I'm always looking for. I can select a different context for how to share this. So this is a website image. Let's say I want to make it a Facebook post. I can copy what I have to save it exactly as it is, and then create a new file to resize it. So it opens up a new tab, and I've got the image and everything that I've made so far, and now it's a little bit wider to fit Facebook's like preferred sizing and dimensions for an image. Now you'll notice that there's some white spaces on each side now, though, because the Facebook post format dimensions are a little bit wider than what I had originally created. All I have to do is just stretch the background.
There you go.
Click on these little dots and then expand, and look at that. Now I have a Facebook post to announce the church potluck. And I can do the exact same thing with a presentation. The dimensions that I'm talking about for like a sermon slide, it would be what they call a presentation. That's the word for the template or the format. So I'll click presentation, again, copy and resize, and then the same thing, it's just wider. So all I have to do is, this is actually so wide, I need to zoom out. I can zoom out, look at that. Click on the edges of it again, drag.
And there you go.
Drag, there we go, look at that. So I have just taken the same thing, all the work that I've done. I don't have to keep doing that same work over and over again. I can just copy it, resize it, make a couple little tweaks, and I have everything I need to share this across multiple different contexts.
That's awesome. All right, Matt, I'm going to give another one to you.
All right.
Worship night.
Let me close these tabs here, jump in here. All right, so worship night.
Yes.
Worship night. I should probably learn how to spell.
Yeah.
It would be handy. So workshop. No, I don't want workshop. I just want worship. So I'm going to hit enter and look at all this. Isn't that amazing? All right, come join us for a night of worship. Nice and simple. I'll click on that. Come join us for a night of worship. I can add another text box where I've got a website here. It's suggesting that I add a website here. I could do that. I could say metrochurch.churchtrac. This is our Connect page or Connect app, so people can go straight there to maybe like a page that has a form to sign up. I can add another text box. If I go here on the left-hand side, there's this menu. I click text. I can add a subheading with some more information, so I can click and drag and drop this. There we go. Drag it and drop it somewhere else. So I could add some details here, make this white so people can actually read it.
Yeah.
So give them like time and location. I'm just saying something generic, but you can put the actual details there. What's really cool is like these images. Let's say, I mean, that looks like it's in a big arena. My church is not in a massive stadium. So this doesn't, I mean, I can leave it because it kind of sets the tone and it fits, but it doesn't match our church's context. So if I wanted to, I could click on, I think it's this uploads button. Yeah. I don't have anything loaded in right now that would fit our church's like, from our sanctuary
But if
or
you
anything.
had pictures of your church, you just throw them in there.
Yeah, this is just an example of what you can do. I mean, obviously that's not fitting a night of worship, but I can just take an image I have already locked and loaded and add it in here and change even the details like images in these templates. So I can make an announcement for this night of worship quickly just by selecting a template, adding a few details that are relevant to my church, and I'm done. I can just share this and post this everywhere I need to. In fact, if I go back to the main account page, if I go back to my church's main home page, if I scroll down, my wife, we do a night of prayer on the first Thursday of every month. And my wife made this for that. So she picked out something and threw that together.
Awesome.
She did that while sitting on our couch in our living room on her phone. On the app, on the Canva app on her phone, just threw that together. In fact, we actually had a barbecue. This is an example of like what Canva can do for print. My wife, we hosted a barbecue, a front yard barbecue, like a block party at our house. And we created this flyer in Canva. My wife created this. I can even show you the file here. I'll share it on the screen here. So my wife created this file and it printed, and we sent that off to the printers, and this is what it looks like. It looks great.
Yeah.
And she did that from our couch in our living room while I was putting the kids to sleep. She just typed in what she wanted for the text, and I passed that around all over our neighborhood. We had a huge turnout. People actually told us they added this invite to their scrapbook because they loved it so much. So our neighbors loved it. Your church can generate this kind of content with Canva. And again, my wife did it sitting on the couch, just picked out a template, added the text, and was done in minutes. We sent that off to the printers, and it was great. So that's another thing you can use Canva for, is making announcement flyers. You can use it to announce events coming up. You can make social media posts, sermon slides, everything. Give me something else.
All right, my church's website, I want to be able to have like a picture or something showing our podcast, maybe something.
Okay, well, actually, I can show off what my church did. Actually, I have a phone hooked up here, so I'll show you. I'll show you my church's Connect page. So ChurchTrac, we offer an app that you can create and manage through the ChurchTrac account called Church Connect. So your members can download that onto their smartphones. At the top of the screen, I think we should be sharing this by now.
Yeah.
At the top of the screen, I'll go ahead and tap on the app for my church. This is our app. This is my church's app. And if I scroll down, this giving platform, that's something that my pastor created. Keep going even further. This podcast there, that's what Wes was talking about. My pastor, he has a podcast. He uploads the sermons every Sunday and also records something every Tuesday evening, to just a midweek little word to share with the church. And this is the image he created to share on social media, to put on the website. And so you can create something like this with Canva as well. Let's go ahead and show off how to do that.
And I love that, Matt, because it's so simple and clean, and it goes exactly with the branding of your church.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's our colors, that's our logo. It's all there, nice and easy. All I have to do in Canva, again, we're going back into the Canva account. And again, anytime you're doing anything in Canva, first go to the home page and type in what you're wanting to do in this search to pull up all your templates. So let's say I'm just going to type in podcast. Look at all these images. These are great. These are perfect. On the right-hand side, I mean, that yellow, I'm already gravitating toward that yellow because that matches my church's yellow. So I'll click on that. And all I have to do from here is make a few minor edits. If I click on the background in the top left, I can change the background color. It's already yellow. I'm going to make it my church's yellow. It's such a subtle difference.
But
you
it
people
adds
watching,
that consistency.
Yeah, you people watching may not even be able to see the color or the shade change. But again, this is about consistency. I want to make sure it's perfect for the church. I can edit this text. Let's say I want to highlight the whole thing. Come on now. No, I don't want to click on Grammarly. Highlight the whole thing. I'll just delete that. So we'll say Metro Podcast. There we go.
Cool.
And my pastor, he does this every Wednesday. I actually need to listen to today's. Wednesday. I have to say that out loud every time I type it. And then I can delete that. It's actually earlier than that, 7 a.m. Let's say I want to add a little texture. I'm going to put in that little @ symbol just for fun instead. I can make these edits real quick. Oh, that actually spaced things out too much. Let's take out every.
And as you're doing this, Matt, what's
Wednesdays.
so neat is, I mean, this is real time. We're doing this, everybody.
Yeah.
And it's so fast to quickly delete things, re-add things, drag and drop a picture, different elements.
Now, this is already the Monsterette Extra Bold. That's not quite our logo. I'll say Monsterette Classic just to kind of take that down a notch a little bit. That's all fine and good. Now, what's really cool is we haven't shown them how to do this yet. I loaded our church's logos earlier.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and upload that here as well. I don't want these three little lines. It looks like the Adidas logo. I don't need that on my church podcast. I'm going to go ahead and remove that element. And then in the upload section, I've got my church's logo here. Ooh, it's right there in the middle. I don't need that there. Let's go ahead and drag and drop this. Taking up a little too much space. Let's drop that down a little bit.
Cool.
Ah, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. I'm done.
That looks super clean, man.
Yeah, this looks amazing. I'm already done creating this image. And I gravitated toward this because it was already yellow. I mean,
Yeah.
it was nice and easy, and it was just geared up for me to use it and make it perfect. But if I want to, let's say we'll do a different one. I like this one. It's kind of blurry, so it's abstract, but it's got everything we need visually to make it, to announce that this is definitely for a podcast. I can say I'm going to just remove this top word, Metro. Podcast for everyone. I'm going to use my church's mission statement.
Okay.
Right? So reach, connect, serve. Boom, there it is.
I just love how quickly you can make it your own.
Yeah,
with any
I know.
template.
And this is this line is a little too close. It's kind of crowding that mission statement. So I'm going to move that over. And then I can change this. It says every Sunday. It's not Sunday. It's just Wednesday. Oh, I don't need Grammarly. Get out of here, Grammarly. Get out of my way. All right, Wednesday. Oh, it's a little too crowded again. Let's just take out the word every, and then Wednesday. Just we don't need anything else. And I can change that time. Again, I'm just doing this just rapid fire just to show you
you're
all.
just kind of playing around looking at all the different, and that's when I will forewarn you, as you go and use Canva, you may find yourself like, oh man, I've been using this thing 2 hours. I should probably move on to something else, because
it actually gets kind of fun.
Yeah, you just start getting the creative juices flowing and you're like, oh, but I can do this and then I can do this.
Man, this is just, we're just geeking out here. I actually created some phone backgrounds, some smartphone backgrounds while we were just hanging out, waiting for this to start. Look at that. I made that.
Oh, so that's like a
branded
smartphone background for your church people to download onto their phone?
Yeah.
That's clever,
I did that in 5 minutes, less than. And again, it's branded. Metro Church. It's got a really cool verse. These leaves and branches were already there, but I changed them to our colors, so I could even change the color of those things. So it's all matching our church's branding.
That is cool. All right, let me give you another one then. How about, church presentation? So maybe my sermon slides.
Sermon slides.
That.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
So for a presentation, let's just do a generic. I'm gonna end this template search. I'm just gonna choose presentation. And look at all this. I've got so many different options. Let's say I want to do a whole sermon series, and I want the slides to all be really consistent, but also have some variation from one to the next. And I'm just going to go with something minimalist. I kind of like minimalism. I'm more of just I don't want things to be busy and full of stuff going on everywhere. So I'm going to choose this one. It's just a basic background, really large text. And if I click on it, I can then do all the work of editing this. Let's say I want it to match our church's branding color. So I've got that. Let's see. I'll make this.
Fonts. Okay.
Yeah, change the fonts. Oops. Monsterette Classic. Look at that. And then this is not a marketing plan. This is going to be a service. So I'll just say sermon title. And then Metro Church. I can get rid of this logo because I don't need that. Get out of here. All right. So we'll just say sermon And then you could just be whatever. So like John, it could be, let's say that we're doing Acts chapter 1. We're going to start a whole series on Acts chapter 1. Bang, look at that. So I can start this, and then I can start adding pages that add more and more content to it. And that can create a whole slideshow based on this marketing, like this template. So I can add this next one in this set of templates is like this meeting agenda. I can change all of this and get rid of it. Or if I don't like this slide, let's say I want this one, quarterly growth. I don't need anything about a quarterly growth at my church. Let's make this about how to give online. Give online. Look at that. And I can change this image. Again, I can upload. Oh, look at this. This is perfect. So I can add this about a guy using a credit card on his laptop just to sort of illustrate giving online. And I can change all of this. I can get rid of this entirely. I can add different content here. I can make this about, faithful giving or something like that. Whatever. I'm riffing here. I'm making stuff up as I go.
This is cool.
We can take what Canva has, what other people have created and added to Canva, and I can make it something that actually fits what my church needs. And I can do this all very quickly in Canva. I can also take this, make it a different shade of gray to match my church's gray. I can do all of this. And if I really want it to be loud, boom, look at that yellow. That's a little annoying. I can tone it down to blue. I can make all of this work for my church just with a few little minor tweaks and changes. So that way I can have everything that I need, and I can have it quickly without having to do all the work myself. That's what's so great about the templates in Canva.
Well, and another thing too that's great about the templates is whenever you're adding like images directly from Canva, so all those images, those are copyright-free images. So I saw someone in the chat asking about that. So as you search, so like Matt, go into the elements. And then search like images. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And so
yes.
all these things that Canva's offering us that we can just drag and drop into these different templates that we're building with. These are royalty-free images, which means we don't have to worry about the issue of having copyright infringement and stuff like that.
Yes.
So that's a good thing to know. Now, if you're pulling in images that you just find on Google, that's a whole different story. You want to check on those images. But when you're pulling images that are your own images or images that you're finding directly through Canva, then that will definitely be the way to go.
Absolutely. I'm trying to remember where that... Oh, photos, of course. Yeah, there it is. So this is where you can find all those stock images. These are royalty-free. There's no copyright issues. You can add whatever you find here straight into Canva without having to worry about paying for anything or getting any sort of copyright infringement issues. You can just add them straight in.
And like go into the elements, Matt, 'cause this is the one I kind of nerd out a lot on. Like, for example, just like search credit card or something like that. So if we're like really... So we have all these images that we can use. We can just drag and drop in there for like online giving or something like that. Or if this was better. If we were making one for a, I don't know, let's say this was like a ChurchTrac card. So obviously we have to change the dimensions and everything, but we could create a ChurchTrac card with this and have like whatever image we want to use.
Well, let's go ahead and make that. Let's go ahead and make what you're talking about. So one thing that's really cool about Canva is I can type in something, I can search something to get started, jump right into a template and start generating what I need. But let's say like they're templates. If I were to click this create a design option and select one of these options, or if I just hover over it, you may not be able to see it. I'll zoom in. There's dimensions right next to each suggestion. What's really cool is if you know what the dimensions are supposed to be for the image you're trying to create and none of these templates match that, you can create your own custom size. So if I click this custom size button in the bottom here, I can type in for like Church Connect, I think the dimensions are 1200.
1200 wide.
1200
and then
wide.
However tall you want it to be. So maybe in this case we made it like, I don't know.
I'm going to make it 1200, just make it nice and square.
Square.
How about that?
Perfect.
So 1200, create new design. It'll start out blank, but now I can jump into the templates on the left and pull up a template that'll fit that dimension. So you said you wanted to do something for Church Connect. What do you want to do?
I tell you what, let's just do one for online giving. So how about just like...
Let's just type in online giving, see what they give us. Thanksgiving dinner.
That's not...
That's not it.
Maybe just, how about just give or donate? Yeah, donate would probably be one.
Volunteer day, charity.
One of those. But
donate today. Look at that, or something like that. Yeah, I mean, let's say, church website, Metro Church. We're talking about Church Connect, ChurchTrac.com. This is my church's Church Connect page. Oh, you know what? When it comes to giving, holy cow, I can't believe we haven't shared this. You can add like QR codes to these images. So I've actually already got my church's giving QR code loaded in. Wow, that's big. I don't need it to be that big. Let's shrink this down.
And so this is a good, like, this wouldn't necessarily be like a Church Connect image, but this would be more so just like if you had a flyer or a poster at your church and you can just drag and drop a QR code.
Watch this. I just deleted that text up there. I'm going to move this up here.
Oh, wow.
Nice and quick. Move this over here. I'm going to shrink this down even more because this is still a little bit too big.
Very cool.
Let's get rid of this line because it's also in the way. Look at that. I mean, I'm just throwing this together. Look at that. It's not perfect, but so what? I just threw that together in like 10 seconds. I can make it even better with some more changes, or pick a better image than this one that doesn't have some of these different elements like this shadow here. I can pick something and put it together to make it exactly what it needs. And I can share this. I can put this in a sermon slide. I can put this online. I can do whatever I need with this image. And I've just added my QR code.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, easy. Love it.
One person was asking about like multiple user accounts, and that is one thing Canva does give you the ability to have multiple user accounts, just like ChurchTrac does.
Only with a Pro subscription.
Pro subscription.
Yes. So Canva Pro, you can add other team members. Like at my church, this account here, I'm logged into my church's account here. My pastor created this. He added his wife and me and my wife. So the 4 of us are on the church's account. I think you can add up to 5 people on a Pro subscription.
Okay. That's
or
perfect.
Actually, you can add more than that, but I think you have to pay more. But I don't know how it works when it comes to... at my church, we haven't exceeded that 5 limit, so I can't really speak to what happens when your church hits more than 5. Reach out to Canva with that question if you want to know more about that.
And that's definitely something you want to give your people that are leaders at your church. So this is beyond just pastor or maybe children's ministry, people that want to put out content for your church, and they also want to do it consistently. Because that's one thing I see with a lot of churches is you have one person that like runs the children's ministry and they have a good eye for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they like do a rocking job of like putting out all this stuff for the children's ministry.
Yeah.
But then you have like the admin person at the church and they're just like, this isn't my thing. And so they just kind of put stuff that looks completely different. And that's where that Canva brand kit comes back into, because now all of your people at your church using Canva to be able to put this stuff out that's consistent.
Yes.
And able to do it in a way that's just saves a lot of time.
Well, let's talk about that. So the admin, let's say the person at your church, in Wes's example, it was the children's ministry leader who's really good at the design work or whatever. Let's say that person at your church logs into Canva, and then they can jump into the brand menu and click the brand templates option here at the top. And they can actually create a template for what that other person, that church admin, is doing, like the newsletter or the bulletins. So the person who's good at design can create a template to then give to the person who isn't, to use to make it easy for them and still keep everything consistent.
So if you're the guy that's really good at making all the designs, and I'm the guy that's just like, hey, I don't know design, but I can do content.
Yeah.
And then I can use this template, run with it, and put out amazing bulletins and social media posts and everything. And I didn't have to worry about the design stuff.
Yeah, so let's do that right now. I'll click the Add New button in the top right. Say I want to add a brand template. Let's say I want to make something for, or I'll just search. Let's say newsletter. Newsletter. I mean, there's all different kinds of newsletters you can generate here. Oh, there's one for church newsletter. Let's click on that, see what that gives us. All right, so on the left-hand side, lots of suggestions. Let's check this out. Oh, this has even got like color scheme and even font selected. That's not matching my church's branding, so let's make those changes. I'll click on the background here, make a quick change to my church's gray. I can even highlight this and make it my church's yellow. Look at this. This is already coming together. I can change anything I need to here to whatever my church is branding. So I can say I want this to be my church brand Monster Classic. There, look at that. This is already coming together. So I can throw together a very quick newsletter and make this a template. Once I'm done, I click the Share button, click the Template button, and under Team Templates, I know we were talking about brand templates. Team Templates, these are synonymous in Canva. They just recently changed it to call it brand templates. Click Publish Template. And if I click on that View Template button, it takes me back to that main. If I go back to brand templates, there it is. So the person who manages the newsletter who isn't good at design can pull up this design that I, who am good at design, put together for them.
That's awesome.
So it's still consistent. It has all the branding that your church needs, the great design that your members like built right in so that the person who's managing this has a much easier time. And again, this is about saving time. That's one thing that makes Canva so great, is you don't have to redo or reinvent the wheel every single time you're trying to generate content. It's already built in. If I want to do like a quick quote to put up on Instagram, I click on this. I can use this template. I can say I want to share a quote from the sermon from last week. I can just quickly change this text and then blah, 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 share it, and I'm done. I can have what I need to share on social media quickly and easily just because I pulled from that brand template that I created for the church.
Sweet. Makes life a lot easier when you have the templates already to pull from.
Yeah.
You just go.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I've seen in a lot of Facebook groups for just church media, graphic design, you have a lot of people that will down programs like Canva. And they'll say, oh, that's not a true graphic design program. It doesn't have all the layers and it's so limited by what it can do, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I say to that. You use different tools for all sorts of different things. And sometimes one tool is a great tool for doing one thing there, but not for another thing. Case in point, my wife and I, we watch HGTV a lot.
Yes.
And
so do we.
I just love seeing the before and after when they do these houses.
Yeah.
And there was this one family we were watching. They're building this house and they're ripping out the rug or carpet in this house. And they find these beautiful hardwood floors. And that's like a gold mine for all these home builders that are going through, like,
what the previous owner was even thinking covering that up.
Yes. Right? But this family, they looked at it and then they were told by the contractor, hey, here's the deal. We can resand, refinish, do all this stuff to these hardwood floors, make them look amazing. It's going to cost a lot of time. It's going to cost a lot more money than you want to spend for this. Mm-hmm. And this was a family that had a couple dogs that were puppies. They had young kids. They were going to demolish those beautiful hardwood floors if they would have done that. And so what they decided to do was throw down vinyl flooring that looked great, got the job done, what needed to be done in the time they needed.
Probably.
And a lot cheaper. And so at the end of the day, when it comes to design for your church, yes, are there situations where you may need to use a graphic design program or just pay a graphic designer to do something very, very specific? Absolutely. But for 95%, I just threw that number out there, Matt. I could be off. But for most churches, Canva is going to fit the bill for most of the design that you need to do for both digital and print media. And what we love about it being free for churches as well as super easy to use. Plus, you can get your whole team involved with it.
I mean, Photoshop is the hardwood floor of what you're talking about. Photoshop is the most powerful tool out there for generating like professional, great design. It's totally original to your church. You can build things from the ground up with it. It's great. The thing about it is there's a very steep learning curve if you're not already like in that world, being graphic design and all that. If you don't already have the know-how, it's actually difficult to jump in and start using it.
Yes. And
it can be expensive. I mean, I think it's a subscription-based service, so it adds up over time.
Yeah.
So if your church doesn't have the resources, whether it be the money or the time or the know-how, Canva's a great option. This is not like some subpar Band-Aid option. This is really great. Like I have been using Canva for my church. My pastor uses Canva.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful. It's been a lifesaver for our church.
I've recently started using Canva for some of our graphic design here at ChurchTrac.
Yeah.
And it comes back down to there are certain situations I do not need to use Photoshop because all I need is this, boom, done. And Canva does that so well for certain tasks. And so this is a tool. We recommend it. And I really enjoyed this, Matt, just because this is so different than, usually we're helping churches by equipping them with our software and all the integrations that we have with it, whether it's like online giving or texting your church. But this is something that I think is going to help so many churches out there just really make better communication amongst their people.
Yes. Better communication, better consistency, and also easy to use. And like I've shown you, I mean, I generated a bunch of content for my church, and like each time it only took me a minute or two. It's very quick and easy to use. Once you find the right template, just tweak it to make it what you need it to be and run. You're good to go. Now, there's a few questions I've seen in chat. One of them being like, can you save the Canva design in another file? Yes, in fact, we'll take a few questions. We're not going to take a lot just because we're not Canva.
Yeah.
We can't answer the more technical questions. I think one of you even asked, like, what documentation does Canva accept for setting up an account, you have to reach out to Canva for that. We're not Canva. I can't tell you what documentation they're going to require from a church. So go ahead and reach out to them and ask them that question. But what I will say is if I go into one of these templates, one of you asked how to save that newsletter in a different file. Let's go ahead and just open that back up. Where was that? I think I saved it here. No, that's the donation file. Let me see if I can't find, there it is. There's that newsletter. There we go. So I'm going to edit the original. You said you wanted to know how to share it in a different file. We can do that. Click that share button in the top right-hand corner of the screen and download it. I can download it as a PNG. I can download it as a JPEG. I can download it as a PDF, standard or print. That's what's great about this. If I want to print my newsletters and mail them out, if your church has that resource, if it has the ability to do that, you can send it off to the printer. That's how my wife and I made this and got it sent off to the printers. Our pastor has made even like our form cards, our sign-up cards for our church. These are all, I don't know if you can see this right now, but these are all stuff that we have printed off, and you can generate stuff like this for your church. You can do that all in Canva, and it looks great.
It looks awesome.
And again, it's all branded. It's got our church's branding added in, the yellow and the font and all of that. It's all added right into that form. So you can do all of this with Canva, and you can save it in different file formats in different places and use it for whatever you need to use it for.
And one thing I've seen a lot of people ask, and we'll kind of close with this last thing here, Matt. People are asking about being able to use this for Church Connect, which is the website and church app that's built into ChurchTrac. Really what it comes down to is you just want to go ahead, create a design, or you can just pull from a template even in Canva, and then just create the image that you want to drag and drop into it. And what Matt's showing real quick is just kind of an example of,
So I've logged into the ChurchTrac account. I'm on Church Connect. If I want to use one of these images for Church Connect, all I have to do is click on it and then change this image here. So I can remove this card image, and then I can just click or drag and drop whatever file I've saved here. So I can just save or download that file onto my computer, add that image into Church Connect to update that image. So that's how you would use Canva to update and add content to your Church Connect page.
Yeah, and I highly recommend it just for having consistency in your church app and church website through Church Connect, is to create these images in Canva exactly the way you want them to look with all of your branding and everything, and then just drag and drop that image into Church Connect, and there you go.
So one of you asked, who was it? Kathy Smith, how do you get from presentation to use during the service? And also Nathan asked, can Canva be used for PowerPoint slides? Yes! You know what's really cool about this? Not only can you make the presentation, you can present the presentation from Canva.
Oh, cool.
You want to see this? Look at this. I'll show you. I'm logged into our account. I've actually got a slideshow right here, this next steps, this growth track. We use this for our next steps class for onboarding members.
Okay.
So this is the presentation that I've used. I'll even get on Zoom with a potential new member and like screen share this presentation and do the whole presentation over Zoom. So let's go ahead and click edit. I'll jump into this screen here where I can make whatever changes I need to make. But in the top right-hand corner, next to the share button, there's a present button. If I click on this, I can present this. Look at this. There's the slideshow. I'm doing this right from my computer. I can share all of this right here from Canva. And under present, if I don't want to do the standard presentation, here's what's really cool. I can do an autoplay where I can set the speed per slide and have it auto change between slides. Or I can do the presenter view, whereas under presenter view, I'll see the slide. I'll enter the full screen mode. As I'm doing the presentation, the people watching will see just the slides, but I, as the presenter, will see the slides and any notes I've left on that slide.
Nice.
So I can even have all my notes for the presentation visible only to me while I run through the slides for the audience.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I mean, and there's no, like, we could literally spend like 5 hours going through all the things, just like our software, how there's so many nuanced features and stuff.
You can make videos with Canva.
I mean, and we didn't even get a chance to touch on that.
We didn't even touch on that. You can make videos. You can do like sermon buffers or service buffer videos, those little 5 to 15 second things.
Perfect.
Or social media, like 30 to 60 second videos. You can make like TikTok videos, Facebook videos, everything with Canva, and even have templates for the videos and everything. It's amazing. It's great. You need a Canva Pro account.
You must have had a lot of coffee because you were super excited about this.
I mean, I'm already almost done with this. It's cold, but I'm still drinking it.
Well, we have run out of time. Obviously, if you need additional help with Canva and everything, probably one of the best resources, to be honest with you, besides Canva's actual website and maybe their YouTube, is just check out Facebook. There are so many groups out there just for Canva. In fact, there's one that I came across, Canva for Churches, believe it or not, and that's a group on Facebook that's just specialized in church leaders using Canva. There you can get a lot of inspiration. And so, man, thank you so much, Matt, for spending the time going through this.
Yes.
We love showing resources like this to churches to be able to help them just build the church.
Yes, to equip the church to build the body of Christ. I'm excited. I'm nerding out about all this, not because I love Canva, but because I'm really excited to show Canva to you and anyone else that you want to share this with, because this is going to help you and a lot of churches take your presentation and your media and everything to the next level. So go ahead and jump on, reach out to Canva to get that Canva Pro for nonprofits and start utilizing all these resources available to you.
And if you're not using a church software yet, check out ChurchTrac. We work with thousands of churches all around the world, helping them not only manage their church, but communicate with their people. And just like Canva being a really easy to use program, ChurchTrac, we've been rated #1 most easy to use for multiple years in a row. So check that out. And Matt, again, the YouTube channel, such a great resource that we've got for people.
Yeah, I saw a few people in the chat ask if you're going to be able to see this webinar in the future. Yes, we will have this webinar loaded in just a few days on the YouTube channel. So go to youtube.com, search ChurchTrac Software, subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all future webinars like this that we do.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt, and thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time. We will be talking about church forms, so get excited about that.
Oh, I'm very excited.
See ya.